Well, it's finally happening. Our solar video is ready, and it has been quite the odyssey for us. I don't want to front load any expectations, so I'll just say, in the words of the great philosopher Samuel L. Jackson, hold on to your butts.
Curious how the audio is going to come out with that thing downstream, but I guess we'll see. Now, the original plan was to put the solar on top of the trailer shed, or on top of the storage trailer. Right now, the storage trailer still has work that needs to be done on it. We have to insulate the ceiling. There's a shade structure being built on the back end. There is a shade structure being built on the front end. Well, there's just a few other things that need to be done with it. So what we're doing temporarily is we're going to build kind of a lean-to. We've got 2x4s here and some weather-treated ground posts. We're going to sink some posts. We're going to build a lean-to. We're going to screw the panels straight onto that. And then that'll be where it lives for now until we get the trailer done, at which point they'll migrate to the top of the roof. So we're going to be facing it dead south at probably a 23 to 28 degree angle. That seems to be best practice for this area. Well, we're going to be building our form, and that's what we're going to be doing now. The panels are going to sit back here, facing this way at a downward angle, and that's where they'll live for the next 3 to 6 months as we get the storage shed up to 100% of what it needs to be. So let's get to work.
You know, as we move through this project, I can already hear the experts and gurus screaming at me through their TVs about the things we're doing wrong. When Athena and I were viewers watching other YouTube channels, I'd say, why don't they just, followed by what, in my mind, was the easy and correct solution. But now on the other side of the screen, I can tell you that it is incredibly difficult without first having the basics online. Besides having no comfortable or quiet space, it's also logistically challenging. It's pretty frustrating to be in a constant situation of, we need this part, do we wait 5 days for the mail or spend half a day driving? It inherently forces a mindset of, how do we get this done now? Which ultimately leads to suboptimal results. But Athena and I have spent $6,000 on the solar array, another $1,000 in materials to put it up, and we've spent $2,000 into fuel costs over the last 3 months. That's a little over $9,000 just to get here. So I was determined to stem the bleeding that is our power consumption by spending as little as possible to get this thing online. Yeah, will you scoot the horse in here? Closer together so they're under the...
Well, he seemed like he liked his bowl. Oh, big guy. Afternoon nap time.
Yeah. Afternoon nap time.
Querida, no sé cómo sanar esta herida. La tengo abierta y duele todavía. Por ti, querida, no sé cómo sacar esta espina. La tengo adentro y no tiene salida. Por ti. ¿Por qué la vida no te puso puso en mi lugar, porque te quiero mucho más que a las demás. Desde que entraste en mi vida, la noche se hace día y no sé quién soy. ¿Por qué lastimas a este pobre corazón? No me dejes que me muero sin tu amor. Desde que entraste en mi vida, la noche se hace día y no sé quién soy.
I thought you were gonna go get him. I thought you were gonna go get him. Griever? Come on, old man. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. Come on, good boy. Did you get him, huh? So after getting our panels set up, we wanted to see kind of how we were going to set them up in parallel or in series. It looks like we're going to do a series or a combination of both. It's going to be series parallel, 3 series of 2 panels each, so 2 parallel connections, I think. I have to say that from start until now, this whole process has been a nightmare. None of it's been intuitive. None of it is designed well. Now we've got these connectors hooked up here of the 2 panels that are supposed to be running in series. And as you can see, once they're connected, you can't pull them apart. There is little pins that are kind of safeguarded by this outer shell here. Those little pins need to be compressed in order for you to pull and disconnect the connector. Now we got spools of wire as well as some of these connectors that we'll be using to cap onto the 4 points that are going to go that are going to run long ways into the trailer and connect into our inverter. Now those connectors did come with a tool. It came with this little tool here. These connectors are what we'll be running into our wire here, our positive and negative wire. And these will run from the solar panels to our inverter. So those wires will run into the inverter, and then the caps will be these things. And this is the, so you can see these have the same little clamps here. And this tool here, it presses to the side and then presses those things in and allows you to take this off. So, but you don't even, with this design, you don't even need this tool. You can do this with your hands and pull them apart. Whoever designed those, well, I don't wish them good fortune, that's for sure. Those are piss poor design. And on top of it, I feel like whoever designed them did this on purpose. They sell a $20 tool that you can buy to undo these clamps, undo those clamps. So in order to undo the connections that we just made to test to see how we were going to run them, requires me to spend another $20. So these Y connectors were sold to us as a necessity for getting these things to run in parallel. They're too short. They're too short for these panels, so they don't do anything. We can't recreate these. I'm sure they sell this little part right here, but there's no way I'm spending more money to buy it. I spent so much money into this system already. I'm tired of getting nickel and dimed for every little thing. The $20 tool to take apart the clamps, it's enraging.
So, in my frustration, I kind of skipped over the actual issue here, which is wiring your solar panels. Most online tutorials take this for granted and don't really explain it, or when they do, they assume that you have all this background knowledge, which I don't. But the long and short of it is that there are two ways to wire panels into your inverter: series or parallel. Now, why would you choose one over the other? Well, that's where things get a little confusing because it's actually a mixture of both that you want. So I've been using this plumbing metaphor to wrap my mind around the complicated subject of electricity. So think of voltage as the water pressure within your pipe. Amperage is how big your pipe is. The bigger the pipe, the higher the volume of water that can move through it. And finally, watts are the total measurement of water available to travel through the pipe. Your batteries and your panels are the well that your system pulls water from. So when you run your wires in series, you're stacking the pressure. Each panel adds its voltage to the next. More pressure means more things can run at once. Think turning on your faucet, your shower, sprinklers, and sink while flushing. The flip side is that your system is only built to handle so much pressure depending on the wire gauge and your inverter setup. So while more pressure is great, too much voltage can melt your system. In parallel, the pressure stays the same, but the pipe gets wider. You're adding the capability for more water to flow, but no extra pressure behind it. So in practice, the best method is a mix. You want to widen your pipe enough for all the water your panels are producing to flow through to your batteries in your home, but you also want enough voltage so that all the things asking for water can drink their fill. And on top of that, your system also expects a certain amount of both. SunGold in particular, as we found, is less than forthcoming on free information. After getting our solar panels set up, Athena finalized the wiring while I dug trench number 2 for our 50 amp outlet. I know traditionally you wire out from the inverter into a breaker box and then out from that box to different outlets. And with some experience under our belts, I would like to circle back and rewire more utility later. For now though, while I'm still learning all of this, my top priority was as few parts as possible so I understood what each of them do and why they're important. We spent half the day on Trench 2, with the first half spent driving into Reno for yet more missing parts and PVC to bury our 50 amp cable in. And then we also waited 3 days for the correct breakers to arrive, but they were our final piece and a must for a system built by first-timers. All in all, 19 days were invested into our solar project. And while we finished on Wednesday afternoon, Athena and I were both too nervous to flip the breakers and power up our creation that night. We both assumed it was correct and that we dotted all our T's, but the abysmal amount of stress that would come with flipping that switch and finding something wrong was too much for us to risk that late in the day. We decided that, for the night, it would be Schrodinger's solar array. We'd sleep in uncertainty more comfortably than confirmed failure. Why are you making that face? It makes perfect sense. Well, after 3 months of false starts, we now have a free source of power on property. You know, when we hit water, it was huge. Without it, this whole experiment would be DOA. Getting water was essential. Getting power, that's civilization. Up until now, each day has felt like surviving, but as I sit here with cold milk in my cereal, I can tell you, this is living.